I've watched a lot of basketball, especially this time of year, right? The NBA playoffs, they're really starting to take flight. And I was thinking last night, this is a Celtics team that won the championship last year. They were in the finals 2 years before that. And I was thinking, they're gonna sweep the Knicks. Like, oh my gosh. And then I just watched Celtic City. So I'm thinking well, now I got Cam Stewart coming on tomorrow, and we're going to talk about the Boston Celtics. Cam's going to join us in segment 3. And I was like, are we going to be talking about maybe the Celtics being one of the epic teams, right? Like climbing their way into NBA history? Like they're up by 20 at home against the Knicks. The Knicks go down 1-0. They'll have no chance, right, to come back and to possibly win this series. And so now I'm sticking a fork in the Celtics, and sticking a fork in the Knicks, and 2, taking the Celtics and putting them on my Mount Rushmore of NBA basketball's greatest teams. And then Jalen Brunson happens. I really am surprised. Look, again, I've said it ad nauseum. There's another one of my Villanova guys. I'm a Villanova dude, right? Tried and true. Family affair, right? Mom worked at Villanova. Brothers went there. I grew up going to basketball practices, at the foot of Rolly Massimino, going to basketball camp. I remember when Jay Wright was the hot new assistant, and he started to basically run Rolly's basketball camp when my mom worked there, and then, of course, got to know Jay. Jay was like a 20-something-year-old dude living with one of my mentors, this dude, Craig Miller. They were both like young guys. Craig was a sports information director. I got to give the context because this stuff goes on YouTube, and people are like, who the hell is this guy? But that's why I love Villanova, okay? And I've always really appreciated and respected and thought Jalen Brunson was really, really good. And but I guess it's the size thing, and I guess I'm kind of a bonehead like that. Like I'm all about I'm like a bad NFL scout. Like, does he have the measurables? I still look at Jalen Brunson and I'm like, the Knicks are calling an isolation play for Jalen Brunson at the end of an NBA playoff game. Like, that's not going to fly in the face of the Boston Celtics. Well, maybe it will. If you watch the game last night, Brunson finished with 29 points, 5 of 9 from 3. Just an absolute machine. And as clutch as they come. And the one, I thought, and I'm not just saying this to weave this into the point I'm trying to make because it's very true. If you watch the game last night at the end of regulation, Brunson missed a floater that would have won the Knicks the game. And it wasn't, the Knicks had made such a run at that point. And usually, college football fans know this, right? If you have a college football team that's on the road, and this goes back to the old rules before overtime, so I'm dating myself. But if you're on the road, or even now, if you don't want to go to overtime, right? And you're coming down the stretch and your team is like a 14-point underdog and you've got a chance to win the game in regulation as opposed to take it to overtime. Let's say you call a 2-point conversion and your team is like, hey, we're either going to win this now because we've got all the momentum and we're revved up because we know if we go to overtime on the road against a team that was favored, our odds aren't great, right? So let's ride this tidal wave of momentum and let's see if we can win the game here. Well, the Knicks weren't able to do that in a basketball sense last night because Brunson missed the teardrop in traffic at the end of the game. I did not think to myself, at least the vibe check was not oh, now the Knicks are screwed. It wasn't oh, Jalen Brunson's a choke. It was oh, he missed the shot. They're going to go to overtime. And I felt like at that point in time, they still had a better chance to win than the Celtics did because they were just rolling. And OG Anunoby was unbelievable too. His ability to shoot the three and then make baskets inside. And the Celtics, the thing about the Celtics, and again, we'll talk to Cam more about this because if I'm being totally honest, I have a large body of work watching the NBA playoffs, but I'm not here to perpetrate like I'm some kind of expert on the Celtics or the Knicks. I know what I saw last night was an amazing NBA game, and it speaks so much to the fact that the NBA is a game of runs. And for New York to win that game last night, they had to put together a run, and they put together a furious one. They were down 20 in the third quarter, and you could basically have driven a nail into the coffin. I was like, yeah, like I told you, this is going to be a situation where we're going to be anointing the Celtics, maybe one of the best teams of all time, after this series and after this NBA Finals that, of course, they're going to win. Well, it didn't go that way. And the good news for folks that like the NBA is on two fronts last night, okay? One, you needed, if you're an NBA fan, you needed the Knicks to win last night, because if they did not win last night, they were toast, okay? They won that game. So by no means am I saying the Celtics are going to lose the series, but now we for sure have a series. I would imagine the Knicks will lose tomorrow night, and they'll go back to New York tied at 1 apiece, which that environment at the Garden, when is that game? Let's see. So the Knicks, I think, will play the Celtics. I'm skipping, right? So they'll play tomorrow night. They'll play at 6 o'clock our time, right? And then I think on Friday, not Friday, I guess they'll take it to Saturday. I don't know. Maybe they'll play. So they play Wednesday, and then they'll play Friday. Okay. Or Saturday, I'm sorry. So right now, the game on Wednesday, let's see what the spread is. Right now, so all right, Scotty, guess the line for tomorrow night. Knicks Celtics.
Celtics -6.
Celtics -10.5.
Oh, wow.
That's why I want to bring you in.